This week, Valve took their Steam Summer Game Festival live. In case you're wondering what that is, essentially it's an online festival in which you have access to hundreds of game demos across every conceivable genre and reaching into new ones you might not have previously imagined. The event is live until June 22nd, so hurry up and get in there. I've been enjoying it thus far. Here are 6 game demos you may want to try out if you get the opportunity. Number 1. SkateBIRD. I backed this game on Kickstarter and I was glad to finally try it. Right off the bat, I'm warned that this game's in alpha, and it shows. There were some awkward glitches, but the core gameplay, when it worked, was pretty fun. It's a skateboarding game with birds, what more could you want? I saw some really nice bits of personality and humor in the demo, and I'm looking forward to the final product. The game's developer, Megan Fox, has a pretty good history of writing games to make you laugh. If you get the chance, check out Hot Tin Roof. SkateBIRD is coming to Windows in 2021. Number 2. Haven. Okay, so I have to say that the introduction to this game was really beautiful, but it needs a photosensitive seizure warning. While I myself don't suffer from epilepsy, for gamers who do, this represents a legitimate hazard without any sort of warning. Regarding the game itself, the demo dropped me in the middle of this relationship between the two main characters, U and K. They've escaped some sort of regime called the Apiary to a distant planet. As the demo goes on, it does a good job of unveiling the story and bits of the world instead of just exposition dumping everything on you at once. I like the relationship between U and K, and I feel like this game handles the dynamics of the couple with a refreshing sense of realism.
What's that you got cooking?
Apple dew stew with apple dews.
Didn't we have that yesterday? Or the day before?
There are 2 core gameplay loops, it seems. You run around on the surface of the planet, surfing on energy threads to pick them up and fuel your home, while foraging for food and fighting dangerous creatures, and then you go home, have conversations about your relationship, and cook dinner. The game's aesthetic reminds me of Gravity Rush, while the relationship elements remind me of an experimental game called Facade that I played several years ago, albeit without the parser and a lot more upbeat. Haven is coming to Windows this year.
I can't tell if you're actually excited about this, or if you just enjoy seeing me suffer.
Number 3. Peglin. Peglin is a pachinko roguelike that's inspired by both Slave Aspire and Peglin. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically pinball, but you have no control over the ball after you've launched it. You just have to set a trajectory and rack up points before your ball falls through the floor. In Peglin, you've got to deal with slime monsters along the way. Each ball you launch through the course counts as an attack against these. The more stuff it hits, the harder your attacks land. It's a cute, relaxing game that's well worth checking out if you need a break from the action. It's a roguelike that won't break your heart. Peglin is coming to Mac and Windows on September 25th, 2020. Number 4. The Captain is Dead. I'm a simple man. You throw Star Trek at me and you've got my attention. The Captain is Dead is a game that draws a lot of inspiration from Star Trek. The moderately overwhelming tutorial was narrated by a rather Q-inspired character, and, well, just look at your ship. As for what the game is about, imagine if you were in the last few minutes of a Star Trek episode. Everything's on fire, your shields are down, and your crew are all injured. You've got to stop your ship from exploding. The gameplay itself is pretty interesting. It's turn-based, and in each turn, you control a different crew member, each with their own set of abilities. As different systems are attacked, it's up to you to balance repairing said systems with keeping your crew alive and actually fulfilling your mission. This video game is actually based on a board game of the same name. It's a little on the complex side, and it felt like the tutorial threw the kitchen sink at me, but once you've got a handle on it, it's a lot of fun. The Captain is Dead is coming to Mac and Windows sometime in 2020. Number 5. Ostranauts. If you're looking for an unabashedly complex spaceship life simulator, you may have some fun with Ostranauts. I tried the demo for this one, and it's legitimately fascinating. Every aspect of life in a somewhat messed up sci-fi future seems to come into play here. Unfortunately, I found it somewhat hard to navigate, and the demo doesn't do a great job of explaining just how things work. It just sorta dunks you in there. I see great potential in this game, for sure. It's just too complex for my own personal taste. I did particularly enjoy putting together my character's backstory. It was handled sort of like a choose-your-own-adventure game, with the choices you make shaping not only their history, but their personality and interests. While Ostranauts isn't really my own thing, it's still pretty cool, and if it sounds like your genre, complex, realistic simulations with a lot of moving parts, check it out. Ostranauts is set to be released on Windows in summer of 2020. Number 6. The Wild at Heart. Finally, for now, The Wild at Heart. I feel that game is best described as Pikmin in the style of a point-and-click adventure game with an autumnal aesthetic. You play as a kid named Wake who found himself lost in the woods, and you meet some weird characters. With the help of spritlings, little creatures who follow you around like they're clingy friends at your party, you make it through your environments. You can throw them at whatever's ailing you. Being attacked by a giant stag beetle? Awesome. Need a boulder moved? Throw those babies and they'll get right to work. Besides being incredibly charming, I'm seeing good potential in this game for some good family-friendly puzzling action. The Wild at Heart is set to be released sometime in 2021 for Windows. I'm not quite done with the festival, but I wanted to hurry up and get this video out before it's all over. Are there any demos you've been enjoying from the festival this week? Hit us up on Twitter at OneRuleBeCool with your thoughts.